Yeah, greetings. Caught up in some traffic and roaming through my thoughts, so I just decided I'll make a little clip of it, hopefully to share. Thinking about a lot of things and basically trying to get us or rationalize how we got here and try to provide some solutions, because you probably say I always complain or point out, highlight problems, and I rarely provide solutions. I do provide solutions actually. A lot of the solutions I provide are in lots of the questions I have, because if you're thinking, then you'd probably see where I'm going with the questions. Nevertheless, now, whether you believe in creation, evolution, the big juju, the little juju, the big rock, the little sun, whatever you believe in, one thing is clear, is that the origin of man, of humans, of our species is the same. From a scientific standpoint, from a realistic standpoint, it's safe to say that based on cosmic activity and multiple cosmic phenomena, species that were here before us died, but in their dying, the cells and organic biological material they left served as a blueprint for our species to be made. Now, from that perspective, we also come to recognize that the black man, the African, was the first human to have evolved on the planet. History shows it. There's historical evidence. The oldest bones known are African. The oldest structures on the planet are primarily African. So, and then geneticists will tell you that the human species evolved from the African. So every human, every ethnicity, every variation of this human race came from the African. Now, if you didn't come from the African, you're probably a Neanderthal, and yeah, your perspective, your views, your values of the planet, of this earth would probably differ from ours. I'm speaking to humans. Now, once it was known that once we came out of Africa, we started to travel. I mean, you're growing, you're multiplying, you're getting bigger, so you expand. It's nature. You're a little baby, you can't wear the same clothes you wore as a baby when you're an adult. Your body expands. You need more space. So in looking for more space, they started to explore the planet and traveled, and basically took little seeds of civilization from the mother continent to every other part of the earth to which they went. Now, geneticists will also tell you that your physical appearance, or your phenotype, your outlook, your outward appearance, is nothing more than a reflection of your genetic makeup, which is your genotype, and your environment, being height above sea level, weather patterns, latitude, lines of latitude and longitude, your geographic location, basically, your diet, which depends on your geography again, weather conditions prevalent in that geographical area. So your body adjusts and adapts to the environment so that you as an individual could survive. That's what we do. The human species, every species for that matter, has adapted to the environment. The species that lived on the planet when it was a baby planet aren't the same ones here. You probably find a few, probably the turtles and them guys being around, but the air and a whole lot of things would have been different. So it's part of the process for the other species that have come and died to help transform the planet to what it is for us to inhabit. So we all part and parcel of it. But what I'm trying to get at is the root, the source of our species is the African. Naturally, having the mother stock DNA, it comes with a certain amount of intellect, and with that intellect we establish civilization. Like I said before, the first and oldest civilizations are ours. But then what you find happened is that most of the others who migrated, the environment, etc., caused their phenotype to change greatly. So you got some of them ended up looking a little yellowish, some look a little brownish, some very pale. Now, what stands out is that the ones that are not black and brown, at some point, I don't know if it was jealousy, I guess it was hatred, I'm not sure what it was. But I also know that genetic variations come with temperamental and behavioral variations, so I'm just presuming that with the variations in their genes, their temperament, their mentality, their attitudes, etc. varied. We remain constant as the rootstock. In their varied genetics, in their varied thinking, they decided to come together for some strange reason and attack us. So basically, once they learned what we had to teach them, some of the elders went back to Africa to become more literate, more educated, took this stuff back. Now, once they learned what we had to teach them and realized how free we were with the knowledge, they put it to different uses. It's like a knife. I could take a knife and I could slice bread. I could cut up my vegetables to cook. I could peel my fruits to eat. But I can also take it and slash somebody's throat. So basically that's what they did with the knowledge we gave to them. We taught them chemistry and stuff for benevolent reasons, for the advancement of human civilization. They took the knowledge they earned for the domination and control of humanity. And they have been very successful because what they did was take the religious knowledge, the spiritual teachings we gave to them, and convert it to religion. With their religion, they have managed to create a psychological prison for many of our brothers and sisters. Added to that, you have the lessons they give us in school. As Jane Elliott says, if you're not a racist, you shouldn't graduate high school. She was directing that statement to white folks because the school curriculum almost throughout the world is designed to promote a superior white individual. Why do I say that? Well, Pythagoras is supposed to be the father of mathematics. Hippocrates is supposed to be the father of medicine. And the Greeks are supposed to be the Greeks and the Romans are supposed to be the ones from whom our language is derived. The Portuguese and them are supposed to be the ones who traveled and explored the world. Nowhere in this is the African ever mentioned. For the African to build pyramids, the very dead, by the way, mathematical formula had to be applied. So mathematics started in Africa. That's not rocket science. Having the oldest civilization, and if you think about what the word entails, what it implies, you would understand. Civilization, we had universities, hospitals, schools, etc., etc. We didn't have prisons. And so medicine is something we were also doing, but they pirated. So all these things have created a psychological effect of false superiority in the white man and the few other non-whites who they might have included in their history for whatever reason, complimentary, whatever reasons. But it creates a different psychological effect on the individual, knowing that he or she is from a race of people who have done great things. So even their mass murderers, they promoted as heroes and had holidays to them. Like Leopold, the slaughterer from Belgium, the bitch Leopold of Belgium, the Christopher Columbus, the other bitch. And I have no respect for any of them. I respect no murderers. I respect no thieves. I respect no disrespectful people because respect is reflect. So even their murderers, they've deified, they've made them look like heroes. And our most noble men have been vilified. They have killed every successful attempt that we've made to advance as a people, whether it be in the West or on the African continent. And the only reason they have been able to do this is by use of weapons of mass destruction and mind control via the media. because throughout the world, the image that these pale demons have managed to show the world is of a violent black person. Their movies, the thieves are always black, the killers, the pickpockets, the villains are always black. In movies where they're black gods, African gods, they always put white folks. In movies where there are any significant black individuals who not too famous, they will impersonate him too. So they found ways, multiple ways, to promote a positive white image, to create that superior white psychology and affect us. Besides the fact they've also implemented with collateral measures such as poisoning and tampering the water to slow up our ability to learn, everything to prove their supremacy. All of this has done nothing more than prove our supremacy and their inferiority. Why? Because if it were the other way around, I'm almost certain there wouldn't have been one of them left alive on this earth. They could not have survived the things we have endured as a people. Now, solutions. Knowing all that we know, knowing that they have lied and continue to lie and they will not stop lying, knowing that they use a lot of violence to keep control of the world, knowing that they're bullies, knowing that they're barefaced, knowing that they're arrogant, knowing that they're deceitful, knowing that they're evil. The only thing that we can do to help ourselves is come together. When I say come together, I don't mean in America or in your state or in your county. I mean worldwide, planet-wide. In other words, we need to find some way to start either little cell organizations in our communities or our neighborhoods, and then eventually move to a county or a state or a parish level, wherever the case is, and then have a national umbrella organization that is officially recognized by each and every one of us that can reach out to the African continent. Why? Because we need to form alliances. At one point, a few years ago, I had suggested if every African American who's conscious, who's aware, who's willing to make a change could put $1 a month or a one-time fee of $12 into an account with 3 signatories, so no one individual could do any withdrawal without first consenting the other two, and of course for the other two to give permission, then it has to be something that's approved by the collective, or they've got to be individuals we trust to provide us with scheduled audits or scheduled reports on how the funds, etc., are spent. Those funds can be used to acquire lands where we can farm, which is something we must do, farm and control our own food. For those who already have farms, those who already have trucks and vehicles, we could form networks to transport and exchange products interstate or wherever the case might be. But we must be able to control our economy so as to provide some amount of financial support to the African continent. Not only to help them strengthen themselves just in the event we need to return, but also to help them arm themselves. Why? Because we're dealing with an illegal bunch, a group of descended murderers. There's nothing legitimate in what they're doing. Why? Because this started with murder, and none of the victims, or not the victims, but none of the descendants of the victims was ever consulted in the formulation of this. So this whole thing has to be redone. It has to be torn down and started over. This shit ain't good. The way it is built and designed for white, and I hate saying supremacy behind white because it is an oxymoron. There's absolutely nothing superior about the white man except his evil. The world shows you this, but you won't see it because you're locked into their media and your minds are programmed to the bullshit that they feed you. So for that, I sympathize with you. Nevertheless, we as a people, we need to form these links, and as I said, we need to help our continent to arm itself in the event we need military action, because we have numbers. We are more than sand on the seashores. Fear can no longer guide us as a people. The devils thrive on our fear. Once we stand up, once we rise up and show them that the shit is over, the shit gonna be over. Because what I can guarantee you is that they cannot kill every one of us. They don't have the numbers. Even though they might have numbers in a specific geographical location at one point, once we have established the contacts we need, the alliances we need, and provide the resources necessary, we can depend on our brothers and sisters in the diaspora and the continent to help us, because we have established links and bonds. So far, we have been divided. They have been very successful at dividing us, using the ships, dropping us off at multiple ports. So a brother in Jamaica and a brother in Guyana and a brother in Trinidad probably don't even know each other. They probably hustling their sisters from back in the day. So that kind of stuff they've been very good at doing. But we got to break it. We got to recognize we came from the same place. The majority of us came from West Africa, unless you're a recent migrant. The majority of us are descendants of the western side of Africa. The eastern side was raped by the Arabs. So we definitely need to unite, because we're dealing with European oppressors and we're dealing with Arab oppressors. And at the rate China is going, we're going to have to look out for them too. But as a people, we need to establish ourselves as a people. The white man established himself through his evil and his guile and his weapons of death and destruction and mayhem. The Indians have established themselves through the Asians through their mathematical prowess, something they also learned from us. What have we done? We need to start working. And I hope that this 15-minute, 16-minute video clip has provided some kind of solution, inspiration, motivation, ideas, something to catalyze a movement forward. Because as it is, we're still moving backward as these demons advance. And it has to be stopped yesterday. Rastafari lives.